Welcome to my first Christmas Eve at my house, a house I've lived in for 7 years. And in all these years, I've never once spent the whole day and night of Christmas Eve here. As a single childless woman, I've always gone to other people's homes to celebrate. I don't mean this as a complaint. I've been very fortunate to have experienced beautiful holidays with my family over the years. But this year, my family looks a lot different. This is my first holiday season without my father. Further, my usual holiday celebration with certain family members was not an option this year. So I was left with two choices: spend the day with my brother and his family, or spend it alone. It's funny to remember that just a couple months ago, I was terrified at the prospect of spending any of the winter holidays alone. I didn't think I would survive it in this time of grief. But after a lovely Thanksgiving at my brother's house, I suddenly realized that not only would I be fine celebrating solo, but that I needed to experience that. I actually found myself excited at the prospect of spending Christmas Eve alone and waking up in my own house on Christmas morning for the very first time. I made so many plans for what I would do, including spending Christmas Eve baking, knitting, and putting together puzzles. I imagined making cinnamon rolls and having them ready to put in the oven on Christmas morning. However, I did end up messing up the timeline on this project, so I had to make these cinnamon rolls on Christmas Eve morning instead. But it all worked out in the end. Side comment, I know these were not rolled well. They were not my best, but honestly, who cares? They were delicious. And as long as they taste good, it's fine if they don't look right. There were a lot of tough moments during the day. My memories of visiting my father on Christmas Eve last year and finding him severely ill still haunt me. I didn't know then just how sick he was or that he'd end up in the ICU a few days later. This Christmas Eve, I was overwhelmed with those memories and the awful feelings that came with them. I also missed the rest of my family and missed the way we used to celebrate. I missed the usual daily messages with friends who were busy with their own families, though I want to give them a shout out for checking on me via text throughout the holidays. I am so lucky to have them. I often felt lonely, though I also felt a lot of compassion for the loneliness. The circumstances I just described are hard. Of course there was loneliness, and that's okay. I didn't take it as a mark of failure. It didn't ruin my day. Was just part of the experience. And though I immensely enjoyed spending time baking, something I don't often get to do, I seriously overdid it. I think that's partly because I'm used to bringing enough items to feed my gigantic family. It's just a default setting for me, one so strong that even knowing I was only going to see 4 of them the next day, I still cooked for 15. But I also recognize that I tend to overdo things, especially on the holidays, as both a way to cope with stress and because I'm still grappling with my lifelong habit of trying to buy people's love with my labor. Look at the cookies, cinnamon rolls, and cakes I brought for Christmas. Aren't I so lovable? Yeah, I know. It's definitely something I need to keep working on. But by the time the sun went down, I started feeling better and better. I realized that Christmas Eve is my favorite night of the year. I was so happy when darkness fell and I could fully enjoy the night on a pile of blankets and pillows, putting together my puzzles, doing a little knitting, and journaling. Everything felt so magical. I truly never wanted the night to end. I think I needed this more than I can express. I could have chosen to spend the day in any other way, but this is the experience I most needed. I needed to learn what I learned about my vulnerabilities, my triggers, and the places the pain and fears show up. I needed to know that I could have as much fun by myself as I would have had with friends or family. I needed to show myself that my own life and my experience as a family of one matter. I am not just a barnacle here to attach itself to everyone else's more traditional family. I matter. What I want for the holidays matters. My experience, traditions, and preferences matter. Having this time to myself in the aftermath of a year of loss was absolutely essential. I got to spend this time with the person I'm coming to love more than anyone. I don't know what future holidays hold for me, but if I have my way, I'll keep Christmas Eve for myself as long as I can. I also learned a few lessons about how I would like to enjoy my Christmas Eve in the future. I want to make a stocking for myself and fill it up with fun treats, mostly chocolate and pomegranates. I want to set out cookies and milk for Santa. Why not? And maybe instead of writing a letter to Santa, maybe I will write a letter to my future self. In fact, I really should do that now so I can have one ready for myself to read next year. Oh my God, yes, I so want to do that. There's so many ways that we can engage with all of the traditions of Christmas that families do. And I feel like single women, and particularly childless or child-free women, are just talked out of that. We're not supposed to exist within the system. We are the patriarchy's worst nightmare. It works so hard to erase us and to convince us that we've been erased. But we don't have to be. We can still do the same things and still derive the same enjoyment from it. By the same token, we can do completely different things. We can celebrate any way we want or not at all. We don't have to engage in the usual holiday traditions if that doesn't feel comforting or right for us. Maybe that's one of the best things that I learned from this experience, that the holidays belong to us. We can do whatever we want and find joy in that. None of it has to look the way we've been taught it has to look. Christmas isn't just for kids or married people who have kids. Christmas is for everyone. The winter holidays are for everyone. I think that's one of the greatest lessons that I've been learning in the past few years, is that everything is accessible to me. I just have to be willing to be creative about it. So yeah, I admit it, I'm already looking forward to next Christmas Eve. I can't wait. I have even better plans and a lot of emotional audits that I'm going to do over the year to see if I can help myself deal with the difficult situations a little better and maybe spend a little less time baking. All I care about is making it a special time and something that makes me really happy. And all of us deserve that. Happy New Year, everyone, and I hope you had a lovely holiday season.